but I know I want you to be with me, and I know I want to see you evolve as I evolve. And so I was teaching them like basically anything from social media development all the way to fundamentals of business to just really calling out what I could see them shaping into what could become profitable, even if it was from that side business perspective all the way to what I believe one day, and I'm going to prophetically, we know we both are on that same page, be able to have you serve from a full-time capacity once it is the right season. So that was then, that was a snapshot of 2019. And then in 2020, amidst 2020, you came on as a one-on-one client outside of the membership. So talk to them about what that experience and transition was like, maybe some mindsets that you had to get over even to make that investment experience.
Yeah, so obviously with the focus on finances, I was like, okay, how can I justify spending this amount of money for something that is, when you're approaching something like this, it's an idea, it's a concept that this person says they can help me get to where I want to be, and you have no idea what that's actually going to look like. They have may have given you like a framework or some pieces of it, but in actuality, when you're starting something like that, you really don't know the full scale of what it's going to entail. And so you're walking into it almost like an act of faith to say, okay, I'm putting this investment out there, and I'm trusting and believing that your system's going to work for me and what you provide is going to work for me. So I had to really kind of process, is the potential outcome or the believed outcome going to outweigh the investment cost? Okay, that was the first piece of it. There's also the time piece, because as Tamra briefly mentioned, I'm not exactly doing my business full time as of yet, because I'm also working a full-time regular 9-to-5 job, actually 7 to 4. But so there's a time investment added in there as well, on top of everything else I had going on, because I was still in school at the time. And that's a lot. So
I forget. And y'all, she was like an A, if you would, student. She was always there, always present, homework always done. I mean, it's no wonder she's a doctor from just the time investment alone and the obedience and showing up. But keep going. I had to note how obedient and disciplined you are.
No, definitely. There were definitely sleepless, well, I don't say sleepless nights. There were less hours slept per night multiple times. There were tears cried. There was frustration. There was laptops closed hardly, never smashed, never in anger, just closed hardly.
I wanted to throw it against the wall. I saw all the fruits of the labor on that one.
I mean, and then there's this whole, like, we went through developing a whole framework, like the framework that we developed during your coaching session, I am still using today. I've not even really tweaked it very much. I've made a few improvements here and there, because I think there were a few things that I was kind of touching, going back to, but I haven't adjusted that. I haven't changed that framework. And the people that I work with, they're like, oh my gosh, this is amazing, And if I didn't have that framework, I could potentially be all over the place with my clients, and that's not providing them the value that they deserve for what they're paying for, right? And then I also added on this aspect of developing a course, which would, because one, it's nice to have an extra course for people who, or a course for people who can't do the full services of a coaching program, but also working a full-time job, having something that could potentially still bring in money while I'm working my regular job. That's amazing.